Financial disclaimer. The information provided in this stream is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered as professional financial or investment advice. We are not licensed financial advisors, and the content presented here is based on our personal opinions and experiences. Investing in stocks and other financial instruments involves risk, including the potential loss of capital. Any investment decisions you make are solely your own responsibility, and you should conduct your own research and consult with a qualified financial professional before making any investment choices. The content we share on this stream may not be accurate, complete, or up to date. Market conditions and financial regulations can change rapidly, and we cannot guarantee the accuracy or reliability of the information presented. We do not endorse or promote any specific stocks, companies, or investment strategies. Any actions you take based on the content of this stream are at your own risk, and we will not be held liable for any losses or damages that may occur as a result. Always remember that past performance is not indicative of future results, and no investment is guaranteed to be profitable. Make informed decisions and consider your risk tolerance before investing any funds. By accessing and using this stream, you acknowledge and agree that we are not responsible for any investment decisions you make as a result of the content presented. You are encouraged to seek advice from qualified financial professionals for personalized guidance. Please invest responsibly and only with money you can afford to lose.
Hey man, just found the next guaranteed multi-bagger.
Hey man, you found another one? What is it this time?
Come check this out.
Okay, next please. How can I help you, young man?
We want to go all in on YYAI. They have AI in the name and they deal with Solana tokens. This cannot go wrong.
Well, that's fantastic. A really smart decision, young man. We can put that checked and it's gone.
Hey everybody, welcome to Laughing Stock. How are you, Dane?
Good, how are you doing?
Yeah, good. I'm just watching this YYAI company that they have started to deal with all kinds of Solana tokens, and they have AI in the name. What do you think?
What else could you want?
Yeah, we can pull up the chart a bit later, but it had some interesting candles, I think.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. Yeah, I mean, you can buy something at 19 cents. You got to scoop that up.
Yeah.
Buy the dip.
Please, if you want to do your own due diligence, I will refer to the Yahoo Finance message board for this one. Everyone is bullish.
Yeah, a lot of very intelligent individuals hidden on that message board.
Yeah. No, I don't know anything about it. You told me that you have one name of them that for me it was a different name, so I don't even know the name of the company.
No one even knows what that company is.
No.
Also bullish.
Yeah, also bullish, but they have AI in the ticker, so that's all you need to know.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, actually, I just went on Yahoo. It was renamed to Airwa.
Yeah, Airwa, that's what I have.
So I guess this doesn't, my stock charts just didn't update the name. Probably because no one's looking at this.
Yeah, exactly. So
But,
they have AI in the name and in the ticker. So
true.
It's double
so
trouble.
they changed their name smartly to make you think that it matters.
Yeah. I read the business description. They are helping like in some kind of sport field or something. So yeah.
But at a market cap of 2.66 million, this is deep value.
This is deep value, and it's a steal just below 20 cents.
It's below RSI, so I mean it's oversold.
Yes. Yeah.
And this is coming off a billion shares being bought over the last 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's jump into the charts actually. Here is the chart for it. So you see the volume picked up a little bit here, Dane.
Yeah. If you're strictly looking at volume, this is everybody's eyes are on this. So
yeah, at 1 billion on this day, and we looked at this candle right here on Friday, 29th of August. I can't say I've seen those types of candles many times before.
No. I will say though, in July, this was a breakout and it worked pretty successfully. So it's still swing trading works again.
Yeah, exactly. You could actually catch this around here or here and make some money on it swing trading.
True. So there's always that.
But raise the stops as soon as you can, and this is the reason why.
Yeah, right. This is a perfect example of what we've been talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, the week was pretty good up until Friday. How is your how what happened on Friday? That's the big question, I think. Yeah,
Well,
I know of course what
apparently
happened.
no one appreciates when Trump puts another 100% tariffs on China.
No,
The
and
markets
also
do
by the
not
way,
take that well.
I'm a little bit scared now then because you know the peace price. My country is the one that issued the peace price, and we didn't give it to Trump. So I'm a little bit scared of the tariffs towards my country moving forward now.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably only going to be like a 50% tariff penalty for you guys, so I wouldn't worry too much.
He's gonna do something to us that because he didn't win it. So
Yeah.
let's see.
Yep. The only thing is like I wonder how long does this last for?
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking the same. Like, if I drag up the Nasdaq chart here, it looks ugly, right, on Friday. But you and I, we saw before the stream. Now we just looked at a couple of other incidences where this has happened now in recent times, and you have one here, maybe 18th of December, and then it started to move sideways a little bit, and then you got the drop, but. You know, it was a bit natural then because it was in the phase where Trump was going to take over, so everyone kind of expected a little bit of you know, some mixed markets during that time, and now we have experienced quite a bullish market for since April. It started in April, and we have always spoken about like nah, when is this going to turn around a little bit, and then it has touched through some of the key moving averages a couple of times here, but it didn't. This was a pretty hard fall in terms of you know, the last few months, and it's moving towards the 50-day moving average. But I was thinking kind of a little bit same like you. Like I think on this coming week, it will turn back up again.
Yeah, I just you know, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, go back to February where the last time the tariffs hit really hard and we got all the way down to below 15.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying you couldn't see something like that if he tries to push these tariffs for a long time, but I just don't see them pushing like this. Now, I didn't get the whole story. I don't know what happened at this meeting, or be honest, I don't usually pay attention because it's all nonsense in my mind. And just in terms of the markets, I'm not saying it doesn't matter like on a world scale, but like to me it's noise, and I'm just gonna see how the markets react, and I'll react, in my way. So I will say, with how you said, I got lucky this week. I was up probably almost 2%, and I did have a big pullback yesterday, but it wasn't a pullback that killed me. I was still up. I'm up just under 1% for the week, so I'll take that.
Yeah,
But,
that's good.
when the markets pull back 3.5% and I get out with a positive return,
Yeah. No,
I
I
will
think
take that. So
the week overall was, I think I ended up down a little bit, but even Friday in the beginning I was up a few percent, and then I took 3 positions on Friday that I got stopped on all of them. The remaining position I got out at break even, or I'm still in them, because I had a pretty good gain on a couple of tickers that I'm still
nice.
in. but overall, I think I was down a little bit for the week, just based on Friday alone. But we were talking a little bit about how it feels a little bit good, you know, to be able to quickly raise those stop loss to break evens and just focus on protecting that you know, the potential loss, and to, like Minervini calls say all the time, to improve the worst case scenario. And on Friday you got a kind of like a worst case scenario, because everything was moving up. I think the market Nasdaq was up like 0.20 or something, and then I went to eat. I thought that things were good. And I was up on even the positions I took that day, almost all of them, I think. And then I checked my phone after I had eaten, and I was only in 2 positions left. Everything else was gone.
Yeah, I'm only left in one position, and same thing. I had moved a bunch of stops, and I probably could have moved them a little bit more actually Friday morning, but I didn't really get a chance to. So even not being able to play it perfectly, I still got out with, you know, I would say relatively unscathed. So yeah, this is, I guess, in response to the, you know, the week I told you where I was up 8% and gave it all back.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't let that happen this time. And, you know, for instance, if I would have been up that much on most of my names, I wouldn't have given that back either. So I will say this week I tested around with a lot of kind of on like the pullbacks and coming out of consolidation phases. I bought a lot of different things and I did find some success with it. So I don't think that's going to be like a main strategy of mine, but it's going to be like a hybrid of that. Because the idea is trying to catch some of these moves just a little bit before, you know, because, you know, you catch something that's already up like, you know, 7%, 8% for the day. You know, you just missed a big chunk of that move. And, you know, looking in hindsight, a lot of these charts, I'm like, you could have got this off the pullback, you know, and it could have been a few days before. So I'm adjusting some of my screeners to try and catch these things a little earlier. But no matter what, the biggest thing I've appreciated is keeping that tight stop loss. I mean, that really saved me this week, and we'll see where it goes. You know, I'm sure Monday I'll be quite hesitant to take anything, just because I have a hard time picturing that this is just a big uptrend, unless, but who knows? I mean, Trump could reverse what he said tomorrow or today or something, you know?
You're gonna change your mind quickly here, you know. But what we have seen with the tariff news so far, since it first started in you know, February back then, is all in tariff news. You get an initial reaction and then it bounces back quickly, but at some point that's gonna end, and naturally also. We have talked about how this market pretty spot on follows those 4-year circles, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. We just have to wait. But I'm with you. I'm going to be careful this coming week, and maybe it'll just let the market establish itself a little bit more. But of course, if Monday is just up, you know, everything is up. You kind of have to throw yourself around and just jump in again.
Well, and don't get me wrong. I mean, even Friday, I did my market strength. I posted it in Discord this morning, if you want to look at it. But I think I still found almost 10 breakouts on Friday, which is, I mean, you know, talk about going against the trend. You know, something's up 10% on a day like that. I mean, that's a good sign. So I don't think the breakouts are done yet. And my numbers, I mean, they were lower. Don't get me wrong, like in terms of like how the day performed, it was like just terrible. But I've seen worse, you know, numbers and stuff. I mean, it was all usually back in February, March, and April where all those terrible numbers were.
Yeah.
So it's a somewhat reminiscent of it, but the numbers weren't unbearable. It was definitely a day to sit back and not do anything crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say on Monday, if I see like a really good setup, that I still wouldn't take it. I'll just, the stop will be very tight no matter what. And I'll, you know, if I catch it, I catch it. If not, it's not. But I'm not going to be like hopping in and doing like some kind of like, you know, approach. You know, I talked about the shotgun approach at times. I won't be in there just buying some names, seeing if it recovers. You know, I will be a little hesitant.
We have learned the lessons from even January, February, March. I when I look back in my sheets, because I I write every trade down. I'm just looking at those months, and I stopped trading pretty much March and April, which was kind of a month too late to stop. So that's just a huge lesson for me in this first year, to just stop immediately when you start to see the market turns around. And I mean, if this continues down and breaks below the 50-day moving average, I'm going to be very careful.
Yeah, I mean, going back into like December, if you look,
Yeah.
you know, you can kind of see it. You have, lower highs, lower lows. It does pick up a little bit in January, but then it really fails to ever break out again.
Yeah.
And then you get that one last peak at the mid-February, and
Yeah.
once again it fails. And then as it breaks through those moving averages, I mean, that's like the first sign that this is really going down.
Yeah.
Um,
On this day,
so
21st of February, that's your first signal, or
yeah, I mean, that was a strong signal.
yeah,
So
that's what I meant, a strong signal, not the first one, because the first one you get way earlier, but that's just like confirms that
that
wait a
downtrend.
little bit, you know.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's exactly how I see it now. So I'll be watching as this bounces, because it's going to come down. It'll probably hit the 50 and bounce off that or something, or
Yeah.
maybe even to the 100. I don't know how far down it will go.
Yeah.
I mean, if it breaks right through all those, obviously we're already in we're already in the bearish trend.
Yeah.
But you know how these things can bounce back quick.
Yeah, very quick. And they have
So
done it before. Like if you just go back to 2nd of September, it almost touched the 50-day moving average here.
true. And I keep my Bollinger Bands on here, which this is only the fourth, or let's say fifth time since May that it broke through the Bollinger Band.
Okay. Yeah.
So and in the past 3 times it's done it, it was on higher lows, and it keeps recovering right off of it. So that's another line that I know a lot of people probably don't have, but it actually works pretty well here. And my Bollinger Band said it's 2 standard deviations, so I think that covers like 98% of price action, or 99. I don't know. It's high.
Yeah. I know I said this to you, Dane, but if you go back a few weeks, I don't remember exactly which day it was, but I had just thought to myself, I'm gonna make a rule when the market is red in general. I'm not gonna trade, just to see if that can cut a lot of my losses, because I have seen that my losses comes on those red days, and I get stopped out on the same day. A lot of it has happened like that in the past. But then I saw that day it was red, and the Nasdaq was down and everything else was down, but just a little bit. And things in my lists, they were actually up. They were green, and I saw a lot of green. So I ended up taking one name. I don't remember which one it was. Maybe it was Rocket Lab that I'm still in. But then what happened when I saw those green names in my list, the market actually turned around during the day and ended up, green. And now on Friday was the opposite. The market was up, and like I said, 20 cents up or something, or I mean percent. And I saw a lot of red in my lists. Like it was very few things that I actually thought were looking good, and a lot of things in my lists were red. And then it turned negative. So I'm thinking I should, when I look at my lists, and because I update these lists every day based on breakouts, like setups, So they change daily. But when I see something that doesn't really add up in my list, maybe that I should just act on that and just take the day off a little bit,
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not a bad rule of thumb. And, in hindsight, I saw something very similar. When I'm doing my screeners, usually there's a certain amount of names I'm used to kind of seeing. And it was really low in the morning, but like I agreed, the markets were up. So I took 2 names, and I did get stopped out on both, which,
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's part of the process. But, in hindsight, I might be more hesitant on those days where I see something like that.
It just gave
because
me a feeling, you know. It wasn't. It was just a feeling like, oh, this doesn't look really strong. You know what I mean?
yeah, and most of my screeners now have like a set amount of volume. So usually you see like a pretty strong amount of volume come right in the morning,
Yeah,
just because there's so many people who buy right at the open.
yeah,
So if I'm not seeing that volume coming in, I mean, most likely that's kind of a hint that no, there's not a
yeah,
lot of buying coming in just in general.
yeah,
So I think it was a mix of there wasn't a lot of buying coming in, and then the news came out about the tariffs, and that just
yeah,
kind of triggered like a bit of a sell off, which then that how that compounds,
yeah.
and
Sure.
you
And
know,
there was a lot of names that were quite extended now, so
yeah,
people were going to take profits very quickly when things started to turn around.
right. I mean, we've been moving up pretty steadily. I mean, the month
Yeah.
of September is typically like a down month, and it wasn't at all.
No, it wasn't at all. And October so far been pretty good too.
Yeah. So
You can argue that this is so it was going to happen anyways at some point, but 3.5% in one day feels rough, and it took a hit on my portfolio at least. Just that I was pretty happy with the week, anyways. But you know, um, I think looking back, my mistake was to buy those three names on Friday.
mhm.
The rest, I feel like I have managed pretty well this time.
Yeah. Um and I mean that's all we can look for is as you get into these names, making sure you're managing them as well as possible. um
Yeah,
my thing going forward is there's a ton of names that when I was doing my process before, which was and I'm trying to find this balance, because I find like Qualamaji is like this more like he keeps his stops a little bit looser, and he's really looking for like those home runs. He tends to, and that's why he gets these crazy returns. But knowing that you can handle a 7% dip in your account, it's hard to stomach. Like that idea, I hate that idea. But
yeah,
if I get weeks where I'm up 8-9%, I see the allure of it. It's just he has it a lot looser, where like Minervini's style is to be a lot tighter. He's probably only gaining a few percent here and there, but he's keeping his losses really small.
yeah.
So, it's a mix of different things. I've been really tight with my position sizing, so I could slowly expand that too. And that's on purpose. Just as I play around here, I don't want to go too crazy with my position size, because I do like being able to keep my stop loss super tight. So if I go into a few positions and it doesn't work out, it really doesn't hurt me.
Yeah.
So and it's a balancing act of all these different things. Like you start to realize that, like I think I'm really starting to see better setups. I think my hit rate's pretty good now. I think my screens are getting better. As I keep fine tuning everything. So now I'm finding that my balance is working on what kind of style do I want to be? Do I want to be more of that style where I'm going to take a couple bigger losses in terms of looking for those bigger home run plays, which so many names I'm in. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy with the tight stop loss, but there was like probably like 5 or 6 stocks that were up like 50% since I hit that small stop out. And I'm like, man, there's a huge argument here that I should have stayed in some of these names.
Yeah.
Which then also, leads me to the approach. I could probably keep what I'm doing and do what, Q does and sell half my position and hold till the 10-day moving average.
Yeah, because you didn't use the 10-day now.
Yeah, not since this, just because I was trying to protect the gains. But now I'm
Yeah.
thinking like, if you protect the gains with half of your position in that tight stop loss and then let the other half run,
Yeah.
there's going to be some that you take some of that loss on. But the ones that do work, they really are big returns. So it's just a mix. I'll keep testing and trying.
Yeah, and that's the key. Like you can learn from all of these great swing traders, but you need to adapt it to what fits you. That's just like the Marius guy. He was saying, like, if you just copy something from one guy and then copy something from another guy, those two might not work together.
Yeah,
Even
you
though
gotta
that
you gotta be careful with what you're picking and choosing, because everyone's style is it's unique, because you just kind of find what works for you. You're never going to be able to like really replicate someone else. It's
No.
just There's just way too much nuance when you start doing it and you get into like the nitty gritty details on what you're seeing versus not.
Yeah, and just to create your screens based on what you are looking for, and not just what you. If you just copy some screens from some people and they don't actually fit your style, it's just worthless. You know, you're gonna end up with a very low hit rate.
Yeah, no, I
It's
agree.
just
I
like
agree.
everything ties together, and you have to do it yourself. But just watch YouTube videos and read a lot of books. That's what we have done, and I feel like we have. We will continue, of course. And I personally, I'm making heaps of mistakes still that I'm scratching my head after, just like, why did I do this? But I can spot the mistakes quickly after, and hopefully I'm avoiding them moving forward. You know, so I'm in the process of landing on a strategy that is heavily based on Kulamagi, but there are elements from other traders also that I have experience through testing and back testing and going back and analyzing my trades, that this has ended up working a little bit better for me than in the past. The past month I'm pretty happy with, but like I said last stream, I need to do it over a longer period of time, so I'm sure I'm gonna tweak things still.
Yeah. And yeah, just looking back at what some of these charts on things that I've been in that have really done well. I have to do something to catch some of these bigger swing moves, because at this point, with me keeping the tighter stop losses and I'm moving that up as I'm adding to these positions, because that's another thing I'm doing is I'm constantly pyramiding in now on the way up.
Yeah.
But anytime there's a pullback, you get stopped on it. So it's part of the give and take. And, the idea, I went from thinking like you're adding to trying to always, get to that home run position where you have a huge size in something, to where you just keep scaling in. And if the stock keeps going up, it just becomes a better and better return. And, as it pulls back, that's just where you end up getting stopped out, which is fine. But I really think I should have a backup rule in there to catch another side of the move, because there is the time where these moves go way up. And on some of these names, because like I said, I'm in high ADR names, so some of these names really move. They're up 100% in a week or two.
Yeah,
so,
they are.
Not capturing that, it's kind of like inexcusable. Like, you gotta make sure you're adding those gains in, because that's, if you can go from 1% a week to like 2% a week or 3% a week even, and I'm not saying you're going to do that every week, but just in general, that I mean, your returns skyrocket.
Yeah.
I think if you return 1% a week, obviously that's around, it's not quite 52%. It would, because it's going to compound. So it'd be like 60 to 70%, in a year, which obviously is really great. But if you can get that number up to 2, I mean, now you're up 100 and like, 50% or 100, whatever. And that's where you get into like, you're a top trader in the world.
Yeah.
And that's where you can turn a $10,000 account into, millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So
as soon as you become profitable by some margin, and you understand and prove to yourself that, hey, this is something that I actually can do, then you should focus on those small details to improve every little bit here and there, because it quickly adds up over a year to insane amounts of money.
And I will say, I know you said that you're still working on the mistake side of things, and I feel like I've gotten pretty good. It's very rare that I did something that afterwards I'm like, that was really stupid.
Yeah.
The biggest mistake I said I made the other week was just letting that stuff pull back. I shouldn't have had my stops that loose. So I don't know. It's like a give and take on how you want to handle that. But
and that's also like a little bit of a bigger what do you call it in English? Like philosophy question. Like how are your strategy going to look like? That's not kind of like a stupid mistake. It's more like, how am I gonna? How is my framework going to work?
Well, and the other thing too is like, an important fact that I remember Vinny brought up in his book is like, when you're going into like a trade or something, or just each day essentially, like what is your strategy? Like if the markets pull back 3.5%, like what are you doing? What are you doing to make sure you handle that? If the market's up 3%, what did you do to make sure you took advantage of that move? All
Yeah.
those little things, like you have to kind of have a plan, and it's kind of hard to come up with those things. You kind of have to live through a few of them, and then you're like, okay, like if this starts to occur, I want to make sure I have all these things in place to avoid this. Or if this is occurring, I want to make sure I'm taking advantage of this. And when people talk about nuance, that's what that's from. That's from living through these different things that have happened, and kind of knowing like, okay, like, like you were talking, next time there's a big drop in the markets, you're not going to be taking trades, because you've already done that once and you realize that it's a really tough market to trade in, and there's no reason to be taking small stop losses constantly on things.
And even,
In a bear
even
and
if,
bullish market like we've had for a few months now, you're in there and you got to be taking advantage of these times, because that's why I said, like, you can look at things on average, like I'm up 2% a week, but like that's not realistically how it's going to work. You're going to be up, that for so many weeks, and then there's other weeks where you're not going to be doing anything, hopefully, or down very little.
yeah, and
So it's
even,
kind of pre-planning all this.
22 and 23, the entire market was moving down and sideways. So if your strategy then is breakouts, it's not going to work so good in those pretty long periods.
Yeah, and I'm sure in those periods, I'm going to stop, taking breakouts, and I may try and see if there's anything else I can find that works.
Yeah,
I remember in the downtrend, the only thing I really saw was working was day trading, in terms of like getting in and getting right out. So really, really tight stops. And I've learned, if I was going to day trade, I've learned I would not be buying and trying to sell at a specific point. My rules would just be simply like, this is my stop loss. If I get in and it holds, I get it, and I capture most of that move or some of the move for the day, because they didn't. I mean, anytime it broke out, it would last a day or part of the day and pull right back. And then the other options, obviously shorting, which that's its own ball game, and I've not shorted enough that I'm gonna really take that seriously just yet.
on
So,
that one, I'm just gonna follow Kulamagi's advice to at least have 1 million in your account before you start to short.
yeah,
It
if
scares
I was
me.
doing this full time, that's probably where I'll take it seriously enough to be
Yeah.
shorting.
Yeah. But yeah, we will see when that happens. Like we have talked also, we have the deep value style. Those markets are good for finding hidden gems, deep value style. So maybe then the streams and what we do will focus more on those types of stuff. But it all depends, right?
Yeah, I might be more willing, in terms of deep value, similar to how we used to do, is I'm going to start on top of just, looking at fundamentals and whatnot, but start tracking which stocks are in bases, and which ones try to pop out in that environment. Because as always, you're trying to find the ones that look like they're trying to break out, even in a poor environment.
Yeah.
So start to make a list of those names. So then as we come out of a pullback, you can hopefully get into some of those names early.
Yeah.
And then obviously I would switch back over to breakouts, because they work really well. I mean,
And
even my numbers in the market strength, the more I hone my screeners, I've noticed my hit rate has gone up drastically, in terms of breakouts. So
yeah.
obviously I'm honing in on what's working. So that's good to see. And
Yeah.
every day I feel like I think I have like an idea, and I test it for like a week, or a few days or whatever, and I might take a few names from that screener just to see how it works, and I keep seeing more and more success with that. So like I said, I am seeing it. It's a slow process. It's very methodical to start to figure out exactly what works.
Yeah. So I think this is I'm still in plug, Dane. It has been pretty good for me. I went in on this day here on 1st of October on the breakout here, and then I sold. I think I can't even remember how it was exactly, but think maybe I sold the same day a little bit, and then, or if it was on the day 3 here, probably it was day 3, I sold half the position, and then I sold another half the day after. And this is one I have just used the 10-day moving average to trail the last shares I have now, and it didn't trigger on Friday, so I'm still in this one. The other one I'm in is Rocket Lab, which I took here on this day, 2nd of October. And I'm very happy with Rocket Lab so far because it's pretty good volume coming in the last days. And since I entered it, it has only been up every day on high volume too. And it even comes with news on Friday. And you see it went up. But then, of course, when things turned, it also went down. On this one, I haven't sold half the position yet because in my calculation here, I have a little table here that shows how many times the stock's ATR percentage is above the 50-day moving average, just to measure if something is extended or not. And this has been pretty low all the time. I was thinking to maybe trim at 7 or 8 times and take 50% off then. But it never reached that. It was close up here, but it didn't reach. So I have not trimmed this, but I have raised the stop that this is going to be very profitable for me. Well, not very, but a little bit profitable if it triggers this line here, which is now over the 10-day moving average. But that's like I don't know. I think it's a bit higher than a 10% gain for me now. So I don't want to give that back, you know. So that's why I haven't used the 10-day moving average on this one. But I'm sure it's going to catch up though. So these are the only 2 positions I'm currently in. I got stopped on the remaining ones here on Friday. On Jumia, it was a break-even trade. The same with Ron. And BBAI I took on Friday. And look, it almost went up 10% for me. But then I got stopped on it instead. It pulled heavily back. So it started very well. And then this one, it didn't work out straight from the beginning. PR set O. And then I got stopped also on AMSC, which also went profitable first and then just turned on me. So that was the story on Friday, I think. So I haven't been able to clean up this list, but I'm so far right now I'm just in Plug and Rocket Lab. How's your portfolio looking?
I'm just in CGTX, which I got in on, I think it was October 2nd or October 1st, somewhere in there. So this was when I was trying to catch it right as it came back through the 10-day. Yeah. Because if you look, previously at the chart before too, like it tends to dip below that. I see that a lot. We were talking about that before. I see a lot of times it's breaking that, and now it has to be a real consolidation. It has to really pull back before you want to start to get interested in these. And don't get me wrong, this is definitely cheating. So be very careful if you do this, because a lot of these do not work. So I'm not recommending this. But I did catch it there. So I'm up a good amount. So even on Friday, it pulled back 6%. I'm still in it, in my stop loss. I'm still a little bit of a distance from it. So hopefully it doesn't get all stopped out. But
also this have a higher ADR. So if this starts to run up again, it will be a fantastic trade.
Yeah, so I liked how much it had dipped, and it had formed like a really perfect cup. If this can run and get to all-time highs and break back out, I mean, this was my largest position. So the fact I'm still in it, and I kept a tight stop loss. So even like I said, even if it pulls back, even when it gets stopped out, I'll still be up. So it doesn't matter. But I would love if this could work out, because the setup looks pretty good to me. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit longer. And we used to talk about like selling after 3 to 5 days, and while that tends to hold true in terms of like that's usually just a good time to do it, I'm just adjusting the stop loss, you know, and if I keep it tight and it makes it to day 4 and 5 or past that, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm also wondering too, going forward, if I'll adjust that to selling half the position and then letting it run to like a 10-day moving average, or maybe like breaking a previous low. Those two always seem to be my favorite in terms of like a long-term hold reason to get out.
And that guy, what is his name? Lance.
Yeah, Lance.
He uses the if it breaks the previous day lows, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And trust me, go through charts and look at on the way up, you getting out on previous day low being broke, and you usually capture a really good chunk of the move doing that.
Yeah.
It's obviously not perfect, and you know, the annoying part is sometimes the previous day low is the best option, sometimes the 10-day moving average is the best option. So it's not like one or the other is better. It's just what you find probably works best for you. You know, what I really should start doing is recording, you know, the type of names I'm buying. I'm thinking in more volatile names, the 10-day moving average is probably the better choice. Where Lance is, you know, he's moving hundreds of millions of dollars. So he probably just breaking previous day lows is enough to get out, because that's probably enough of an early signal. Because if you're in, you know, billion-dollar companies, you know, or, you know, 10 billion and higher is, I'm sure, what most of the time he has to trade. You know, he's not trading small stuff a lot. He probably uses previous day low because of that.
Yeah.
So, like you said too, with the market wizards, I'm curious to see if Q's changed any of his major rules as he's gotten bigger. You know, especially because he said he had lost so much.
Yeah, that's at least what that guy Schwager said, that he's addressing his big loss that you have heard rumors about. And I've seen him now on X. He's a bit active again.
Yes.
And he has always, I have to say though, he has always he has never been scared to go into a high market cap company. He has been focusing more on the ADR percentage, and I told you the other day that I'm going to be the same moving forward, I think, because Rocket Lab has you know, a market cap of, I don't know what it was back then, but maybe around 30 billion, and I'm up, I think 30% or something on it right now, and it still has a high ADR, you know, of 7 right now. So I'm not going to shy away just because of the market cap moving forward, but it needs to have everything else that I'm looking at too. And I'm going to be a bit more hesitant on maybe, or I still love like the smaller market cap ones, because the chance of them doubling quick are higher than a big one, of course. But on his X now, he speaks a lot about some of these pretty big companies. So maybe he has changed to only focus more on those. But you know, he says on the stream also, if he's gonna grow a small account, he will jump on the high ADR stock. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah, and actually, the more I look at the bigger market cap stocks, the charts are actually a lot easier to read, because usually they're a lot less like volatile. Like when you look at Rocket Lab, like it jumps off that 50-day moving average like perfectly every time it touches it.
Yeah.
So leading up to this last, you know, jump. So there's a ton of good signals on this one. You know.
Yeah, it is. It
And
really
it's got
is.
that, like your line show. You know, it's got the higher lows. Like there's just a bunch that's going for that one. And then you start to see that heavy volume on, not heavy, but on the 29th, you see the 29th is positive volume. The 30th is, the first is, the second is, and the second's where it all of a sudden really starts to take off.
Yeah. And that base is pretty long too, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's like, what is that? Almost 2 months. So, just like I said, that seems like it seems like to me a relatively easy chart to read, and you know, in hindsight, very obvious big move.
Yeah, it is. And I saw by the way, back here, around here, I'm in Rigetti now, RGTI. And I think it was in this time period or something, it has already breaking out. And I saw someone posted a question to some, maybe it was to Kulamagi, but Kulamagi answered, yeah, the chart looks good, but the breakout was on this day, he said. And you can see, I just drew the lines on it after he spotted that, because I didn't follow RGTI at that time, so I hadn't noticed. And that's partly because at that time the market cap was a bit big here, you know. But like you said, it's pretty obvious to spot it when you go back and look at it now. And I mean, I can just assume that Kulamagi took it here, and that has been a fantastic trade since then, you know.
Yeah, and like you said too, you know, I keep thinking too that I used to shy away from the larger market caps, you know, and there is some of these names that still move, and like you said, they're almost, when one of these names move, it's almost more secure. Like,
Yeah,
there's no way people are dropping, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars into this and they're just going to sell in the next day. Like, it's institutions, you know,
yeah,
they
those are
can't get in and out
institutions.
of positions.
Yeah, and this also have a higher ADR, you know. But I will say though, what surprised me a little bit when Kulamagi said that, because up until then because he said he likes to use the 10-day and the 20-day for the faster moving stocks, and sometimes the 50-day, right? And this, I guess, was one of those sometimes. But that made me think maybe that's one of the changes, that he looks at a little bit slower movers also, because he has gotten such a large account now. Because up until then, I had kind of ignored a little bit the ones that found support on the 50-day moving average, because I just wanted to focus on the quicker movers. But when you see Rigetti moves like this, it's just stupid to ignore it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
Yeah,
Um,
and the breakout is still clear, and this would have been, if I had noticed. It's easy to sit here and say now, but you saw on Rocket Lab it was pretty similar. So I think that if I saw this one at that time, I would have taken a shot. If I had changed my mind, which I have now, you know.
right.
But these are just like part of the learning curve, and moving forward, that's what I changed. I'm not so interested in the market cap anymore. I just don't want them to be too tiny, but I focus a lot on the higher ADR stocks. And I have to say also, after I changed to just focusing on the higher ADR stocks, I have also performed a little bit better overall.
Yeah, no, I think you're right on that.
How has the other QBTS, you know, this is also a theme that we know from the past also, that it moves pretty high when it starts to move. There's a lot of money coming into this QUBT. Looks a little bit different, the QUBT one.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot of support and resistance right around where it's at right now. The one thing that makes me think this looks still pretty bullish is the high candle on 19 is overtaken by the October 3rd candle.
Which
Oh,
ticker
you're
are you in now?
sorry. I'm on QUBT.
Yeah.
Wrong stock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this one looks great. It just late here.
Yeah. Look at the volume in all of them. So just, I also saw that Kulamagi said he thought that these types of plays have like another week in them, and then he thought they could turn around a little bit. But maybe he changed his mind on Friday when everything was down that they're gonna crack a little bit earlier. But you know, from his streams, then he immediately goes short on a few of these I've seen on the streams at least.
Well, that's I mean that's a whole nother skill is knowing when when the trend turns, like take the other position, take the other side.
Yeah, you jump over. And I know a lot of people have talked about Tesla lately also, which is you know, everyone knows Tesla, but the market cap is massive, but it's still close to 5 in ADR. So it is a quick mover in that sense. But
Right.
Tesla broke down to as well on Friday, but it found some support on the 20-day moving average before that. So it looked a little bit good on Thursday, you know, but I don't know if I'm interested in Tesla, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean Tesla, that might be even a little big for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it still works out. That's the thing is like you know, this is what a lot of the traders say is it doesn't matter. Market cap doesn't matter. Market you're in doesn't matter. They all do the same trends essentially.
Yeah. I just checked the Bitcoin. And Bitcoin has broken down pretty well on Friday. Had a rough day. It went below the 200-day moving average.
Yeah, interestingly enough, just the whole week it being a little bit bearish, you know.
Yeah. And it just took out all the moving averages, isn't that on that was on
Well,
Friday.
this is why I say, I mean, Bitcoin to me is just a more volatile version of the actual stock market. You know, I feel like it traces the stock market relatively well, but
Yeah.
on big pullback days, it really gets hit. But you see the opposite, you know, on big up days, it can move.
Yeah. And it doesn't look on the weekly, it looks better, you know.
The one thing I'll say about like, you know, crypto in general is I can't imagine having to watch something at all hours every day. There's no break on weekends. It's a lot.
Yeah.
I
I
remember
know,
they were
but
talking about
interesting
doing that with the
charts.
stock market in general, and I was like, please do not do that.
Yeah.
I need a few days off.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to.
If I had to wake up on Saturday and Sunday and keep my eye on everything, I don't know.
You're gonna have gray hair very quickly.
Yeah, you know, the burnout from that is just incredible.
This was my watch list on Friday, and MP did ended up doing well. It's up 8.5%, and it was up a lot higher before that. I actually tried MP on Thursday, but I got stopped out. No, it was on Thursday, I think. Yeah, I got stopped out on it then, which made me not interested on Friday because I was a bit hesitant. I didn't see the big volume coming in straight away either. But that one was pretty strong. It ended up almost 10% on a very rough day, you know. And
Yeah, I
it
think
has
it looks
some
very
recent
cool.
news.
This is either, you know, almost depending on how the markets are doing on Monday, like this is either kind of a buy right away or hope it pulls back and you can catch it on one more bounce up.
Yeah.
But it's tough to say.
But I like the, you know, the recent move up from July.
Yeah.
It came in a lot of big volume. They delivered a pretty good earnings report, and then it just moved sideways a bit and found some support on the 50-day here, and then started to move a little bit up. And then I tried it on Thursday on the news because they had news there. It was some China related news. but then I missed it on Friday. I wouldn't take it on Friday. The way things ended, anyways. But it's just gonna be on my watch list on Monday again. I think a lot of these other ones, I will throw them out.
Giving me new ideas to test with my screeners.
Yeah.
Just trying to write everything down so I don't forget all these different things.
Yeah. But you said you took VERI, right? I had it on my list too. And I draw these stupid lines on it, and it broke above my line briefly, and I was like, this one I even had a buy order in, but it didn't trigger it. And then it just started to pull back a little bit, and I erased the buy order. And well, I'm ended up. I'm glad that I didn't take it. But what did you see in this one, Dane?
I mean, at the time I bought it, it looked like it was bouncing back up. I think it was up when I bought it, up 8%. So even though it ended the day down 9%, it didn't look like that when I got in.
No, and that's when I had the purchase order in as well. But then it was a victim of a rough Friday.
Yeah, I don't think I did anything wrong on it. And once again, this is a bit of a cheat. I'm trying to get in before it actually breaks out again. So you just have to accept that that's a risk that you're going to take when you get into these names on that. And the previous 2 days it had rode that 20-day moving average, which I thought looked really good.
Yeah.
There's tighter volume, the day before. So the fact that it was starting to push here looked good to me. Just kind of higher lows in general. Just all the different little things I'm looking for. So, and volume had came in pretty strong right off the rip. So
yeah, it had some volume.
So kind of a mix of that's kind of what made me take it. And like you said too, markets pulled back, I'm out. But that's the thing is, I had my stop loss set at I think 3%. So I mean, it was a small loss for me. It's not really a big deal.
Yeah. And you said you tried the CAN, right?
Yeah, CAN was the other one I tried to get in yesterday, and same kind of idea. This one hadn't pulled back. The 10-day, I know the 10-day doesn't look like it, but yesterday when it was up, the 10-day was like right at the it had crossed through yesterday, or not yesterday, but the Thursday, October 9th.
Yeah.
So it looked yesterday like it was dipping through that 10-day and bouncing off of it.
Yeah.
So I liked it right there, but wasn't meant to be.
No, but maybe keep it on the list, because if this gets a little bit tighter and continues with a sideways move, it's interesting and has very high ADR as well. And in terms of market cap, and like it's in a good spot, I think, for just keeping an eye on it.
Yeah, and the rest of the moving averages besides the 200-day are moving in the right direction, and you can see it almost got to the 200 and wouldn't quite tap it. So that's still relatively bullish to me. This is why I said a lot of these things I'm going to be watching on Monday and seeing what they do.
And I see here yesterday it says like they provide September 2025 Bitcoin production and mining operation updates. So naturally, it will follow the Bitcoin move also,
Yeah.
Which I think, who knows how that's gonna look in the coming days. But this one is, you should have it on your list, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't go through them, these ones on Friday, but I think a lot of the stuff on my watch list has completely broken down, and I will just kick them out. But there are a few here that I will keep for Monday.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, like I said, I ran through some of my screeners. Nothing's really standing out. Like I said, it kind of has to put you on pause having a day like that where that kind of market change occurs, because it could signal a bigger change in the market.
Yeah.
Which could be a signal to not swing trade right now.
Here, Dane, here's your favorite one.
You at me?
It went up 12% on Friday.
You at me? I got this is an example of one that like I nailed, and my tight stop loss got me out of. So this is one I could have had half a position left in. So I will say I made all my money on UAMI back. So I'm happy
good.
regardless of the move. And finally I caught it. I caught it
Yeah.
perfectly finally. So I'll take it. But
strong move though.
yeah, it's a super strong stock. I mean, you know. And that was the worst part before, is like I knew it was a good stock in terms of like swing trade setups, but
Yeah,
I just for some
hard
reason
to-
before I never could capture this one.
No. I remember I looked at it here, I think. In May, or no, it's probably earlier. There's been so many places that you could have taken it, but like you said, it's been hard to stay in this one. But now recently, I've drawn these lines up. I think they look like good spots. This will be a bit hard because it gapped up here on 1st of October. I don't know when you took it, Dane, but ever since then it's just parabolic up.
Yeah, I think I took it one time in December, which looking back now, I wouldn't have taken it there.
Yeah.
So probably a mistake. And then I think I tried it. I don't even remember. I don't know. Maybe in March or in February somewhere, I tried doing it and it didn't work. I don't remember. But
No, you did it because that was the same point as me around here. It was somewhere here.
So somewhere in there,
Yeah.
it wasn't working out. But it's you know, like I said, this is something I look back at this chart now, and I would have done this differently, and hopefully captured these at better times, which I did capture it finally. So hopefully that's a signal that I'm slowly honing in the right direction, not the wrong direction.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, this is just another chart that keeps making me think I really should be doing half the position sold and then keep the other on the 10-day.
Yeah, I think that's
ride.
I think that's a good way to do it. What are you doing now? Been a while since we have. Oh, it's down to 111.
I actually didn't check it on Friday. I have it in my list, so I do keep an eye on it. But yeah,
but that looks a bit scary down there.
By the dip.
Yeah, but this is actually one. This is actually one that that could work, because if on Monday it goes up again, like I think there's a reason it dropped to exactly one. We have talked about 110 to 120 before, right?
Yeah, I mean it has a hard time breaking below that. And we are really just kind of waiting. You know, each quarter when it comes out, the big difference is what's the news in terms of getting the helium production going and the refining part of that. So, you know, each quarter we're getting closer and closer to that. And as long as management is saying everything's on track, I mean, that's all you can ask for. The stock will continue to appreciate on that.
Yeah. They have some news though. It says here, U.S. Energy enters stock purchase agreement with Roth Principal, can sell up to 25 million in stock. They have filed a 8K on Thursday.
Gotcha. Well, that makes me think wait until that goes through.
Yeah.
Because that's going to dilute.
Yeah.
Which also makes me that makes me somewhat worried though, because you know they said that they were fine with capital.
Yeah, I was thinking the same because they had the clean balance sheet, and now they want to raise money,
Right.
and they want
This is one
to.
of the toughest parts about deep value is a lot of times you end up catching these companies that need cash, and this is why that balance sheet is so damn important. You know,
Yeah,
if you're doing deep value, this is why RK said he could pretty much invest only on a balance sheet, because as long as that place has capital, you're pretty good, you're pretty cushioned, you know. Um, and if it
yeah,
doesn't, don't touch it. Don't touch
yeah,
it.
true.
It's not gonna make it.
But yeah, interesting to see how long this time it will stay in this area.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see what it does from here for sure. Especially with that news that's unsuspected, and I take that as relatively bearish.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
I honestly, if I had been holding like a small position to get started in this, I might have sold out on that news and just waited to see what happened here.
And a terrible time to come with the news also, the day before Friday.
Yeah, right.
And also I don't know, the timing to. I don't know more about this agreement, of course. Uh, I'm not gonna bother to read through all this now, but to me it seems like a little bit of a bad timing to do this for them.
And that's why I'm saying, you know, they might be forced into doing it.
Yeah, which is a bit worrying.
Yeah.
And then the next report is in like 27 days. It says here in TradingView. If there's some bad news on that report in regards to the helium thing, I think this thesis has got damaged a lot. You know.
Yeah, no, I would agree. The one thing is, I know the CEOs have always talked about selling the business possibly. So it could be by him bringing in the capital, it also opens up new owners who may possibly in the future want to take over.
Yeah.
Um, so there's that to it, you know, and if they have a big footing in it, you know, obviously they have control.
Yeah.
Um, but it's been a little bit since what's his name's bought.
Yeah.
Uh,
I checked it
yeah.
out. 12 of September was the last one.
So but who knows? I mean, you know, I'll be curious. What does the CEO do here when it drops here?
Yeah.
You know, so we got this pullback. If this was him and he's still bullish, this would be a good time to buy because every time it gets down around here, you know.
But I mean, at the last time he purchased, it was 114, and then before 117. And he still buys for the same amount. Like if he comes in with I don't know if he can afford it or if it's allowed to do it, but if he comes in with a big amount at these levels, you know, that's pretty confident.
I would probably buy on that news alone.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, if I'm watching this and I see him buy like all of a sudden like 100,000 shares, I will buy right alongside him.
Yeah. There's some comments here actually on Seeking Alpha on the delusion thing. It says, wow, looks like the whole crew wants out. Vine Seattle has the lion's share of stock. Maybe they aren't as optimistic that helium is going to be a big winner. Yes, curious when they are likely on a few quarters away from cash flows. Price action tomorrow will be interesting. These are all pretty recent. Perhaps the
Yeah,
CEO will discuss on the next call, similar to what we talked about.
yeah, that comment there is my more interesting one. Is what does the CEO have to say? And you know, actually, I listened to a podcast, and it made a lot of sense. He was talking about companies and in terms of insider buying, and he was saying how much he loves insider buying. But interestingly enough, he says he doesn't focus on CEOs when they buy because CEOs are the ones running the company, and they kind of want it to always look like it's doing well. He said his biggest buys are like when the CFO orders because they're the financial experts. And if they're buying,
Yeah.
Like that's a numbers guy.
Yeah. No,
They're
that's
buying at the right time. So he's like, I love when like the CPA or CFO or someone in the finance area is buying, because if those guys are buying, they ran the numbers and they know what's up.
yeah. No, that
So
is a
just
good point.
just a point, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, not to say it's not bullish to see a CEO buying, um, but yeah,
If
that's very counterintuitive to the narrative I've had in my head about USEG.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey, I do got to get going here.
Yeah, all good.
So I don't know if we can
I
start
think
to end this here.
you know, the week was pretty good up until Friday, and to talk about everything that happened on Fridays, everything is red, you know. So I think this week Plug and Rocket Lab has been performing well for me, and the rest is just shit happens sometimes, right?
That's it. Shit happens.
Yeah. All right. Will you be on? Will you be on? Be able to do next weekend, Dane?
Um, it depends. I think I'm on call for work,
Yeah.
so I'll have to update it as I go and see how it plays out with the schedule and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so we'll figure it out. We'll post in Discord as I get closer to it, and I can confirm that or not.
Yeah. I think there's gonna come. It's not now, but there's gonna come a few weekends where I also will struggle a little bit. But yeah, we try to update everyone as always. And as I said that, Dane, I just realized we didn't post in the Discord that we were going to stream today. So
Oh,
we are a
okay.
bit sloppy sometimes. Apologies for that, but yeah, it's busy, you know. Things are busy.
Well, yeah, it's that, but you'll see it get posted in there anyways when we go
Yeah.
live, and also too on YouTube.
Yeah.
We're doing this once a week anyway, so
Yeah.
if you check, even on Monday, you're still getting the stream.
Yeah.
For all the thousands of people watching.
It's gonna come one day. It's gonna come. Oh, we never addressed this, but a couple of streams back, did you see all the comments we got, Dane?
No, I did not actually.
We got like bombarded with some comments about some crypto thing.
Oh yeah, I remember you. I remember you saying it, but it's whatever.
And I immediately went to hide under my couch because I knew the robots was coming.
True.
Yeah. So we are not off their radar still.
Yeah, we gotta get these percentages a little bit higher. No one cares that where we're at yet, but
no,
we're honing it. We're getting better.
It's gonna come for sure.
I'm over 30% year to date, so
Yeah,
I'll take
which
that.
is that's good. And
I don't know what the S&P is actually after the pullback. Where are we at now?
but I mean, it's still it's hard to get up to those numbers with deep value every year. That's very hard.
True. Where S&P was now it's only up 12.5, so
Yeah.
I'm handily beating that now.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. I need to improve, but like I said, the past month, all the adjustments I've done, if it's luck or if it just has worked, I'm not sure about it yet. But I have performed much better in the past month, which I'm up like 10% or something.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, up 10%, in that short of a time frame. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm happy with it, and it has come after a lot of adjustments. So I'm leaning towards that it's a bit of that, but also the market has been very good, of course. But like you said earlier, like this is the time you have to deliver and to get these results in those types of markets. You just have to produce these numbers, or
Right.
else you're never gonna have something to talk about.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah, so hopefully Monday's not doomsday, and
Yeah.
we can we can stay alive in these markets and keep doing this for a little bit. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, we will see.
CGX to the moon.
Yeah. All right. We will hopefully see you next week, and then make sure that we post if the stream will be canceled or something like that. We will post it.
All right, everybody. Have a good one.
See ya.